and welcome to our next yoga class. This one's going to be a hips focus class and low back, requested by one of my friends that I used to work out with quite a bit, but I haven't seen in a little bit. And I know that a lot of people I work out with now also have low back problems, so we are going to dive into hamstrings was a request, and then low back is usually related to your psoas. So what we're going to do is we'll do the splits, Hanumanasana. We'll do a little retest, because that's frequently a thing that gym people do. So we'll try it out at the beginning, and then we'll try it out at the end, and hopefully they feel better. Yeah, let me know how your results go. So anyways, helpful for this practice will be, but not required, 2 blocks. Again, not required, but I think you might get a little more out of some of the poses. And then potentially a strap. Again, not required, but you might just get a little bit more out of the things that we're gonna do. So let's get started in a child's pose, and try to take your knees a little bit wider, so that you can start to, you feel a little sensation, in this area. And then go ahead and rest your forehead on the mat, arms overhead, and just start to drop in for your practice, being here now. And there's a million things that you can think about, and the brain just love to just run wild sometimes. So now that we're here, kind of maybe let go of a few of those things and just be in your body, and start to pay attention to what's going on in your fingertips, and the sensation that you're feeling there, and what's going on in your wrists, and do you have any soreness from too much hand balancing, and how about, are your forearms tight from gripping onto things, and are your shoulders tight from holding tension, or maybe all those things feel good and I just took you down a negative rabbit hole. But start to scan your body and just check in and see what things are gripping too tightly, and what things are maybe need a little more attention to hold them into the right, hold them into good alignment. I know I always need that with my rib cage, is to hold it in more of a straight line rather than slouchy. So kind of check in, so your shoulders, neck, jaw, scalp, and then all the way down to your spine, to your chest, to your belly, hips. Just seeing how everything feels today. Maybe you feel really fresh, or maybe you're really sore. Just noticing. There's no right and there's no wrong. Our bodies are constantly changing and reinventing themselves, destroying old cells and building new ones. So just noticing where you're at today. And then focus on your breath too here. So big inhales through your nose, long, slow, easy exhales out through your mouth. And just fully have the experience of being in your body. What does it feel like? What's working for you? What can you let go of, so you feel lighter inside? Less tension. And then go ahead and walk your hands in a little bit, so you kind of come onto all fours, but keeping your knees extra wide. And then just kind of rock back and forth a little bit, so that you start to get some motion into your hips, going a little bit forward, back. If this feels easy, you can take your feet out a little bit wider, so you're almost in modified frog pose, to wake up your hips. But the request also was not to have anything too hard, so I will try to keep things nice and moderate. And then go ahead and you can bring your knees back together a little bit, and come back onto your heels. And we're gonna do a little bit of spinal twisting awareness. So a lot of times too, hips will get tight if there's anything in the spine is out of balance, because it can pull you side to side. So and often the spine likes to move in chunks. So we're gonna start by twisting your head to the left and the right, and just a little bit, almost as if you're only using the very top vertebrae, and see if you can just bring awareness to that easy twist in that sense. And then you can move it just a little bit deeper, as if you're moving on to the second one there. And with that awareness, you can move on to the third. And I actually don't know the order. I had to learn it once upon a time for nursing school, but I forget. I know you have cervical, thoracic, and lumbar, but I don't remember if the numbers start at the top or the bottom. But just what we were thinking about here is bringing sensation and awareness into each different vertebrae. So as you're twisting, and each time try to add on a little bit more, and so then your shoulders twist a little bit. But again, to individualize each of your vertebrae is really the goal. Instead of them moving in chunks, that you have nice fluid movements. And as you do this, moving down into your midribs, notice which areas are chunkier and which ones move more gracefully. And just taking awareness. Oftentimes bringing your attention and breath to an area can help it start to let go. Often you have the tension because it's neglected and trying to hold on and grip. So once you give it that safe space, and moving down your twists all the way into your lower spine, nice and gentle, just waking all these guys up. All right, so whenever you're done with that, we'll do our splits test. So I like to go ahead and grab my blocks so it helps me stay more upright. And it really doesn't matter, we're just coming into it because this is before we flow, so I can't do too much flow first. So start with whichever leg you want to go first and just come into it. I like using the blocks to help be more upright, and also keep your pelvis square facing forward instead of you can go out to the side and maybe get a little more depth, but then that's really it's a different muscle group. So we'll just go ahead and come here and take a nice test. You don't have to stay in it too long because that's going into a kind of cold. I don't want to hurt your muscles like that. But just seeing what you got. Yeah, just seeing where you're at. But a nice little stretch does feel good. A little hello, wake up stretch there. So anyways, just taking stock of what you have, and put the box aside. And so after that, we're going to move into lunge vinyasa here. So I'll just go ahead and start with left foot forward. You can put right foot forward. It doesn't not really matter. And first, we're going to go ahead and lift that back knee. So you can use your hands to frame around your front foot. And what we're going to do is just first drop the right knee and then lift it. So you're kind of really activating and extending that right psoas muscle, and just lowering and raising. Really trying to isolate that muscle there so it gets nice and juicy. So we'll do the next few poses to kind of get warmed up so that your muscles are nice and relaxed and ready to move. Dropping those, and then go ahead and keep your back legs straight and straighten your front legs so you're in kind of a long pyramid type of pose. And then we'll go ahead and slide forward back into our runner's lunge, but you want to try to get your chest up as high as you can because that's going to lengthen all of your torso so that you get more of a stretch. And then on your exhale, come back into long pyramid pose, and then inhale, come forward with that tall chest, keeping your back leg straight, and we'll just kind of flow between those two poses, flowing with your breath. So exhale, straighten, inhale, bend, exhale, straighten, inhale, bend. This is one of my favorite little go-tos because it just really gets into those hips, but it's not very complicated, so you can kind of bust it out anywhere without rolling around on the floor like a pretzel or anything. So go ahead and take a couple more of those. And on your next exhale, step your right foot to the front of the mat and go ahead and take your left foot back and drop that back knee. And we'll come into those lifts and lowers again. So lift, lower, lift, lower. And maybe you even already noticed on your your bent hip there that you already got a little bit more space after the previous side. Keeping a couple more there. And then we'll go ahead and straighten your front leg into your modified pyramid pose. And then on your inhale, runner's lunge, chest high. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. On our next exhale, go ahead and plant your hands and step back into downward facing dog. And we're going to take Surya Namaskar C because it's really good for the psoas. So go ahead and take your right leg up towards the sky and then knee towards your chest, bringing it forward, stepping it in between your hands. Drop your back leg. Raise your arms up for your Anjaneyasana. And then on your exhale, plant your hands around your front foot. Step the left foot forward. Go ahead and take a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms all the way up towards the sky. This is a great time to make an intention for your practice. Dropping your intention down into your heart, making it part of your experience. And then an inhale, circle, sweep back up. Exhale, come down to your forward fold. Step the left foot back and go ahead and drop that, right foot backwards, right foot back. Drop your knee. Rise up into your Anjaneyasana. Nice and tall, straight arms. And then exhale, plant your hands, step back to a plank pose, take a push-up, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and then other side. So left leg high towards the sky, bring it towards your chest, step it between your hands, drop your right knee, rising up into Anjaneyasana. And then on your exhale, plant your hands, step your back foot forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep up towards the sky. Exhale, drop your hands to your heart. Exhale, circle sweep up. Exhale, back down. And then go ahead and take a halfway lift. And then exhale, drop into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then go ahead and step your left foot back, drop your knee, and then rise up into your Anjaneyasana. Exhale, plant your hands. Go ahead and step back to your downward facing dog. And then go ahead and take your right leg up towards the sky, bringing it forward, stepping it between your hands, dropping your left knee down. Rise up into your Anjaneyasana. Finding space through across the chest, through the back. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up towards the sky. Drop your hands down towards your heart, connect to your intention. Inhale, circle, sweep your hands up. Exhale, go ahead and forward fold. Step your right leg back to the back of your mat. Rise up into your Anjaneyasana. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank pose, lower to a chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot up towards the sky. Step it forward in between your hands, dropping your right knee down. Rise up, salt. Exhale, plant your hands, step your back foot forward to meet your right. Inhale, forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle, sweep your hands up. Exhale, circle, sweep your hands all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and step your left foot to the back of your mat. Drop your knee. Rise your chest and your arms up. Gazing towards the sky. Exhale, plant your hands, and then go ahead and step back into downward facing dog. And then go ahead and take your right foot up towards the sky and bringing it forward through your chest to step in between your hands, dropping your back knee down, rising up. Take a deep breath, and then on your exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot to meet your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep your hands all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, connect with your intention. Inhale, circle sweep back up. Exhale, circle sweep back down. Step your right foot to the back of your mat. Rise up into your Anjaneyasana Asana pose. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back into a plank. Lower into a chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take that left foot up towards the sky. Bring it towards your chest, rippling forward, stepping that foot between your hands, dropping your right knee down. Rise up into Anjaneyasana. Exhale, frame your front foot, step your right leg to meet your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up. Exhale, circle sweep your arms back down. Come into a halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then go ahead and step your left foot back. Drop your knee, rising up to exalted position. Take a deep breath, bring in space throughout your body. And then exhale, plant your hands. Go ahead and step back into your downward facing dog. And then go ahead and tiptoe your hands forward, or your feet forward to meet your hands so that you're standing near the front of your mat. And go ahead and from your forward fold, go ahead and just ripple your body up one vertebrae at a time. Just taking your time and finding all that space throughout your back. As you rise up, coming to a standing position. And from here, we'll go ahead and take tree pose on the right leg. So left leg will stay planted, and you'll take that right leg, and you can, with an external rotation, put your foot in either to your thigh or your calf, or you can use it even as a kickstand. It doesn't matter. All it matters is that your hip is rotating open. So find your desired tree pose, and then focus. Find a, we call it drishti, so something kind of to gaze on and to kind of ground your body as you might be waving in the wind. That indoor wind, it always gets so out of control. And so just to find your inner centeredness and your balance. And as you push through use your standing foot to kind of push through, really ground down a solid foundation, pushing through all four corners of your feet. You can find a sense of like lifting up that will bring a nice soft tension to your body to keep you from being too wobbly. And I often find too in some of these poses where your knee is out, you can have a circle of tension from the core through the knee to the foot, back to the thigh, up to the core. And so you can almost feed off of your own tension there. And all right, if you're still with us, go ahead and release that leg. If you want to keep it standing, you can. We're gonna go ahead and step back into a warrior two. So you'll want your legs comfortable distance apart, so you can bend your front knee so that the knee is tracking over the foot, and then you have a nice external rotation with both of your legs, and your torso will be facing towards the long ways of your mat, but your hands and face will be facing towards the front of the mat. So you have a lot going on here, and trying to keep your pelvis in a nice, if you picture your pelvis like a bowl, you don't want it spilling too much to either side, so you try to keep that one upright. But of course, your hips are going to be tugging and yelling and trying to take the easiest route, so they're going to be pulling on that. But go ahead and find your warrior two. Just nestle in here and see if you can, once you find that good position, if you can find a place where your body is comfortable, it might also start to soften and adapt to this new position. And some of those tight hip guys might just start to let go once you give them that reminder that they're safe in these tough poses. So just reminding your body that it's safe. Even if this position is unfamiliar, everything is fine. And then go ahead and straighten your front leg and parallel your feet so you're facing the side of your mat. And we'll go ahead and drop into a wide-legged forward fold. So your toes should be a little bit in, heels a little bit out, and letting your head fall down towards the ground. And again, pushing through all four corners of your feet so that you get a really nice balanced sense of pressure throughout the leg. A lot of times too, we have stuff going on in our hips because we walk on different parts of our foot. So the foot is the foundation, and anything that might be going on there that's not quite centered can affect the rest of the hips. And then go ahead and walk your hands right underneath your face so you have a flat back here in your forward fold or in your wide leg stance. And what we're gonna do here is try to go ahead and make our way onto the mat. I need to scoot forward a little bit more so I have a little bit more space, but you do not have to do this gracefully, but if you want to, you can try. So walk your hands back back beneath you so that they are probably behind your feet. And then if you're gonna start to roll back, lean back, and your hands should catch the weight. And see if you can just lower yourself, lower yourself all the way down. I just barely made it. So anyway, so now you're in a wide-legged seated position. And from here, go ahead and take your left leg and bring it in towards the right thigh. So we're in setting up for Janu Sirsasana. And rotate your torso towards your right foot. And go ahead and then go ahead and lean forward over that foot. If you can reach the foot and hold on, you can do that. If you want to use a strap and hold on. But the best thing is to try to keep your torso lined up with the leg, and to keep your spine in a good line. Your line of sight should kind of match with your big toe to keep your spine in line so that you're not getting all of your stretch like from bending your neck. And then go ahead and just drop in here, a pose of lesser effort where maybe you can take a moment and relax. Give your nervous system a break. And just use big, bold breaths. Nice, big, slow ones to provide your body that stability and security. And go ahead and walk yourself back up, and go ahead and take your left leg and extend it back out, and then take the right leg coming on the other side with the foot in towards the thigh. And again, use your hands to straighten out your torso towards your left foot, and when you've made it, go ahead and walk yourself forward. Again, you can just droop here if you like. You can hold on to your foot. You can use a strap. And then getting that nice stretch to this QL muscle back here. And gazing towards your big toe. And once again, just drop in. And see if you can use this calmness to help those tissues just let go and have an easy time. Breathing in. Breathing out. And walk yourself back in towards the middle from that. And we're going to keep your left foot near the front of your mat and take your right foot, and you can just work it out some way behind you. I think I'm going to go with this internal rotation, and then we're going to try to right your body upward So you're facing the front of your mat, your left foot's already at the front of your mat, and we'll go ahead and step the right foot also toward the front of the mat, and we're gonna have to take tree pose on the other side to finish this sequence. So plant down into the ground with your right foot, and take your left foot up into whichever spot you found was working for you, either being the thigh, the calf, or a little kickstand if balancing is new to you. Again, making sure you're getting that nice external rotation of the thigh. Face you guys a little bit just to make sure you know what you're doing. And again, then find your gazing spot, your drishti, to center yourself. It's kind of your second ground. So if you only got one point of contact, you use your drishti as your other point. So now all of a sudden you have a solid base. You just can't see that eye gaze. So use that to center yourself. If you want to take mudras, go for it, or just focus on your breath. And come on out whenever you are ready. And from here, go ahead and we're going to make our way to the ground. So you can come from a squat, either narrow or wide, and just see how close to the ground you can get without having to use your hands. So just go ahead and drop down and just see how close you can get before you plop. And then go ahead and cross your ankles and roll over. We're coming into all fours. So from here, now we're on all fours. Go ahead and take your right leg and raise it up so it's still in a 90-degree angle at the knee. And then we're just gonna go ahead and do some lifts here, so you're really activating that hamstring. And so, yeah, really waking that up, warming it up. So often too, the quads can take over, and so then the hamstrings are sleeping. So we're gonna make sure that it is wide awake and ready to participate with us here. So just keep doing a couple more pulses until you really feel like it's on fire, and then we'll move on. Then we'll go ahead and start to externally rotate your leg. So we're gonna bring it forward to plant near your hand, but you're gonna wanna think about it going like over a hurdle so that you keep it nice and high, both the knee, the shin, and the foot, all the way as high as you possibly can until it steps forward in front of right next to the right hand. And then from here, we'll probably have to move our back knee back a little bit and the front knee forward because we're coming into half splits. So whatever you had to do to make sure that you are now in a half splits pose. So this front leg is straight and the hips are stacked over your back knee. And then we'll go ahead and take, come to a long spine, so flat back. And then on an exhale, you're gonna take a little bit of a forward fold, kind of to wake it up right there. And feel the pose. I always feel all my leg muscles just lengthening whenever we come into this pose. So go ahead and feel that pose. And then walk your fingertips in so they're right under your shoulders. And we're gonna try to lift this front leg. It might not go very far, it might not go anywhere, but just to activate the act of activating those muscles will help you. So we'll go 1, 2, and on 3, then you have to lift that leg, and it's going to be deep core work, but here we go. 1, 2, 3, and then set it back down. Whatever you did was great, and then go ahead and again with a flat back, nice flat spine, gazing probably towards your big toe. See if you can come into this pose, and you should be able to come in a little bit deeper since we did that pickup, but go ahead and listen to your body. Always going for that point of sensation, not pain, but also if you're not feeling anything, maybe take another exhale and go a little deeper. And connecting back to your breath. So while the muscles might be in new and unfamiliar territory, you use the breath to remind them that all is safe, all is well. And we'll go ahead and walk your hands to the outside of your leg a little bit, giving another aspect and dynamic to this pose. See if you feel in any different muscles, any different angles. And then seeing too as some of your hip muscles might open up if you get a little more length through your torso, because often that will happen as they stop gripping so much. They'll let some other muscles that you didn't even know were struggling all of a sudden now have more space. All right, go ahead and walk your hands back around your front foot, and then we're gonna kind of heel toe that front foot over to the left side of the mat, and we're coming into half pigeon. So walk yourself forward so that your whole right shin is on the mat. And this can be, you can have your leg more parallel, you can have the foot closer to the bum. Either way, foot closer to the bum is easier, but either way, you just kind of find something that again is going to bring you a lot of sensation without pain. And then just try to relax. Envision what it would feel like as if your body were able to just melt into pigeon pose the same way that you melt into your bed after a really long day, where if it just feels like the best thing that ever happened to you. I know it's pigeon pose, so probably you're like looking at me in disgust, but just try and imagine what that would, see if you could just soften in and just, oh, I think this is so great. If you're absolutely dying, you can always walk up a little bit, adjust your feet. Try to hang in there for a couple more breaths. So I've actually been doing this for long enough that I love coming into the pigeon poses. So they do feel like melting into a wonderful, wonderful space. So that, I guess I want to give that hope that if you keep up with this stuff, one day it will feel really, really amazing. All right, so go ahead and take your right heel and kind of definitely walk it in more towards your bum so that you have a really nice tight angle between the right shin and the right thigh. And then go ahead and roll back onto your right butt cheek and take the left leg, and you can give it a little boost. We're going to swing it all the way around so that plant the foot in front of the right knee. We're coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes. So from here we're going to twist to the left, and you can start with a gentle twist just by hugging your left leg, and you can just kind of start to ease your spine over that way, see how it's going. If it's going well, plant your left hand back by your left bum, and go ahead and then straighten your spine, sit up nice and tall, and take that right hand and you could raise it up towards the sky to get in deeper, but try to get the elbow on the outside of the left knee. I'm all twisted up, so which one is which? Outside of your left knee. And then go ahead and use that tension, that spot there, the elbow and knee contact. Go ahead and twist a little deeper if you want. And really, again, like we did earlier, try to think of each vertebrae moving separately so that each one can find its own unique space to enjoy. As you keep twisting, you might find this all the way down into your hips, releasing a little bit as well as the spine. All right, and then release your twist. So your legs are still crossed. That's good. We'll keep them like that. And then go ahead and walk out your feet a little bit so that the knees are stacked more on top of each other. And from here, then we're gonna go ahead and, first take a nice forward fold so you feel the full depth of this pose. And then rock forward a little bit so that you are on your knees. And I'm gonna scoot back because I'm too close to the wall. But if you're, wherever you are is fine, it doesn't matter where you are on your mat. And with your hands on the ground, you can rock back and forth a little bit here. Also bringing some movement into this pose. And then if you can, walk your hands back towards your knees so that you sort of stand up. You're still on your knees, and get as much length as you can through the hips. This always brings a lot of sensation for me. So if you're feeling it, stay here. If you want a little bit more, go ahead and take your arms up overhead, and then you can grab for each elbow. And if you want to twist side to side in this position, I can't even really twist my hips from there, but that would be the idea, to bring some more into that area. Or just kind of stand tall and let your body adapt to this position and see if it says, oh, okay, maybe I can make that pose. Maybe it's not so crunchy after all. So, all right, and then go ahead and lower your arms and make your way back down onto hands on the ground, and your knees are still wound. So go ahead and step the right knee back and see if you can take the left knee and unwind that too. So we're back on all fours so we can take the other side. So left leg will up into that 90-degree angle and do those hamstring pulses to get your hammy all woken up. And then I don't know if this is easier on this side since we've already been going, or maybe you're tired and it's more difficult, but keep those pulses. This is our last one, so it's our burner session. And again, I'm gonna try not to hit my furniture this time, but externally rotate the hip joint and try to move that knee forward. You're gonna put your foot near your hand, but try to keep it as high as possible, that there was a little hurdle it had to go over before it could meet the hand. And now that we've landed, heel toe that foot in closer so it's in line. Then we're going for half split, so you probably have to stretch out a little bit. And walk your foot forward, left or right knee back, till you found your spot so that your hips are stacked over the knee, leg is long, and go ahead and looking forward with your flat back, gazing towards your toes. Take a nice inhale to lengthen the spine, and then an exhale, bow forward, keeping the spine straight. So again, all the stretch comes from the leg and the hip and not just from curving your spine. And some breath in there. And then plant your hands underneath your shoulders and you can fingertip if you like for a little more space. And on 3, we're gonna go ahead and try to lift that left leg up towards as if you're gonna kick yourself in the face, if that were even a thing. So deep belly contraction. And again, even if your foot doesn't go anywhere, you still activated the muscles. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Lift that up. You can feel everything's on fire. And now go ahead and take another inhale, lengthen your spine out, and take an exhale, fold. See if that little work brought you any more space in there. Connecting back to your breath. I haven't offered that for a while, so I hope you didn't lose your breath. But if you did, it's okay, we're all back together now. Enjoying this nice runner stretch, keeping your hips square, really just focusing on that hamstring. And then walk your hands out over and around that left leg. So you're coming into maybe hitting a little more of the IT band or whatever else might be talking to you right now. And using every breath to see if there's a little more space and length you can find. Any other places that can let go. And then from here, go ahead and center your torso and walk your hands a little bit forward so that you can heel toe the left foot over to the right side of your mat and bringing that left shin down so that you're in half pigeon. And again, finding a place that works for you with the shin either parallel or heel closer in towards your bum, and go ahead and then walk yourself down. Again, seeing if you can just melt into this pose as if you've been waiting for it, as if your hips just loved being in this position, they loved being this wide open. As if they were always meant to be like that. Just with time, they kind of lost their way. but we found it again. And often too, then think about your pelvis shifting a little forward on the right and a little back on the left to keep it in a nice straight on position. Finding as much relaxation as you can here. Right, life is all about the kind of the stories that we tell ourselves are our own perspective. So if we could start to change the perspective of pigeon pose being a really good feeling pose, imagine maybe that would happen. Take 3 more breaths here. And then walk yourself back upright and wiggle that heel in closer to your bum and whatnot, so you have a nice tight angle. And roll back onto the left bum and take your right leg and swing it all the way around so that you plant the right foot outside of the left knee, coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana. And we'll start with a nice light twist. Just hug that right leg, plant your right hand outside of your bum, and then once you've got 2 points of contact, use those to straighten your spine, which I think you'll find will bring some more space and lengthening in there. And once you feel good here, you can take that left hand up to the sky if you like and get that elbow outside the leg. Should give you even more depth in this posture, assuming that feels good for you. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And on your next exhale, let go of that, keeping your legs in their little crossed situation, and see if you can walk your feet out, make adjustment so that the knees are a little bit more stacked. And go ahead and come with a tall spine. We'll just bow forward here so you can feel this pose in its entirety, as they would really hit that pose. And then go ahead and try to roll over your knees so that both your knees are on the ground. Hands forward and just rock forward and back a little bit. Making sure all the blood's flowing and we didn't wind anything in too tight of a knot. And once both your knees are on the ground, walk your hands back closer to your knees. And again, try to see if you can do the stand up on your knees. It's gonna be really tight for me, so I'll take it nice and slow. Yep, got a nice little pop, 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 but that's good. Things are opening. And then take surveillance here so you can feel feel all of your hips. And then if you want to, take your arms up, reaching for opposite elbows, maybe opposite side that you did before. And if that twisting feels good for you, do it. I wish mine was a little more fluid, but that's why we do this, so we can get there. Maybe you can move side to side too. And anyways, letting go of that, planting your hands on the ground. And I don't know if you're like me, come back and find your way onto your mat. And we will go ahead and take our twisted lizard lunge. So coming back into a general lunge shape, you can do either side first. I guess I've got right knee forward and left knee bent, and we'll go ahead and reach back for your foot. And this is going to be kind of our back bend pose for the class. So while this is definitely getting into your hips and everything, also we're going to try to see if you can think about your spine opening up too. So, and if you really want to focus on the psoas, you're going to have less range of motion, but hold on to the inside of your foot. And if you need to use your strap to grab on, go ahead and do that. So yeah, holding on to the inside of the foot will give you definitely some more sensation in the psoas. But again, also really focus on your spine opening and letting your chest really blossom forward, or a proud warrior chest. I don't know what kind of yogi you are, in the warrior kind or the blossoming kind today. You can always choose a different one tomorrow. So yeah, if you can get a little back bend sensation here, that would be great for a more well-rounded practice. If not, well, that happens too. And whenever you're done with that, go ahead and let go. Plant both of your hands at the front of the mat. Raise your back knee. Step back and pass through down dog. Left foot forward. Drop your right knee. And we'll come into this on the other side. So inside of the foot for the deeper psoas stretch, if you want that. And then try to keep your gait, keep your torso more straightened if you come this route, so you really focus on that psoas. And then focus on the chest. And just let it bloom. Let your heart out. It's springtime. It's ready to bloom, ready for love. Go get 'em, tiger. And maintaining your breath here. Using that to soften. We've got our retest coming up, so let everything get nice and soft. All right, letting go of that back foot. And again, I like to take my splits with the blocks just to keep the torso upright, but you definitely do not have to. So we'll go ahead and do your retest. So just, step whichever foot forward you like. I've got the left one, and just keeping that pelvis, like the bowl of your pelvis tilted upward and forward, so you're in good alignment. And just see if your splits are any deeper than they were before. Again, sensation, not pain. I think that was a little deeper for me. And then we'll try the other side. And just take your time coming into it. Yeah, so I'm looking better, feeling better on both sides. Shouldn't say looks are really not why we're here. We're here to feel good in our bodies. But I definitely have a thing for beautiful poses. When they're done really well, it is really just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So there we are. There's your hips class. So we'll take a little rebound pose before we rest. So since we did so much psoas opening, let's sit into both your legs forward, Paschimottanasana, and as you take kind of the flesh out of your legs, so they stay straight in line. And then if you can reach your feet, go ahead and grab on if you want to use your strap. I think outsides is traditional, but I like holding on to the top of my feet for a little extra plantar fascia stretch. And once again, gazing towards your toes so that your spine is long. And then really we'll get a nice stretch in here, since that was probably compressed while we stretched out the psoas. So that we finish in a nice balanced situation. So enjoy this Paschimottanasana right now, because in a minute we'll go into plow pose, which is kind of like an Urdhva Paschimottanasana. So enjoy the peacefulness here, because soon you'll be topsy-turvy. All right, and then release your feet. And I don't know how much space you have. I'll scoot forward a little bit so you can see. But go ahead and lower back down onto your back. And we're gonna take our feet all the way up overhead to hit the ground. So your shoulders and back will stay on the ground to support you. If you wanna just lift your feet back up towards some furniture, like to here, that's okay too. But if you can, keep going. Oh, I stuck on my braid. So your toes hit the ground. And then if you're here and you can, try to lift up through your back and get space. I'm laying right on my airway, so it's hard to breathe, but hard to talk. But anyways, here's a pose to give you a nice back stretch. I always notice that my back gets tight. If I haven't done this pose in a while, it will get tighter. So it might be tight for you. You can bend the knees to release some pressure if you like. If not, just try to breathe into it. And whenever you're ready, roll out. And then for our Shavasana, not too many hard poses, so we'll do legs up the wall, where you can put your legs on a couch is nice, really just any way that they are lifted up from you. And if you would like, it's a little bit more restorative to strap your feet together before you, so that they, you can use the strap, put the strap on here, and then you put your feet up the strap, you just gently hold on to it and keeps your feet from, splaying away. So you just put your feet up with a strap to kind of hold them in place, and then just find relaxation, find ease. Notice the extra space that maybe you have in your body, and cherish that space. Appreciate it, so that it's something that your body will continue to make space for every day. And it will appreciate this new way of being with more ease and grace, less gripping. And maybe this will become your new normal. A good one for once, no. All right, yogis, I will leave you here today so that you can enjoy this pose for as long as you want. I think sometimes 10 minutes is a good time to do this, but I won't make you watch for 10 minutes. So anyways, thank you so much for practicing. I'm so grateful. I hope that you have the most wonderful day, and that you find lightness and love and all around you and all throughout the day and tomorrow.